for joining us. This is DNS Liberia. We're live from around the Steering Towers Junction, where the newly or former Chief of Office Staff to the office of Honorable Yogboh, representative of the Electoral District 12, is expected any moment from now to address the press on several issues as in relation to his recent resignation letter that was tendered into Representative Yogboh. So any moment from now, former Chief of Office Staff Edison Paye will speak shortly, so you can share this live. In fact, others as well.
Fellow citizens, Edison Paye, Republic of Liberia, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I announced my resignation as Chief of Office Staff in the office of District 12 Representative Honorable Yogboh. I have indeed invited you to provide reasons behind my resignation. February 24, 2026, my fellow citizens of the Electoral District number 12, Mossoralo County, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate all citizens of the Electoral District number 12, Mossoralo County, for your resilience and support to my political sojourn, especially during my 2 years of service as Chief of Office Staff in the office of Representative Honorable Yogboh. Serving as Chief of Office Staff in the office of Honorable Yogboh has been an honor, guided by my utmost passion, commitment, and dedication to contribute towards the development of the district. However, after 2 years, 1 month, 8 days of my service to Honorable Yogboh in the district, I made a conscious decision to resign as Chief of Office Staff. After my resignation, I have received calls from few individuals, including members of the House of Representatives, suggesting that I should not speak to the press on my resignation. But given the role I occupied in the representative's office as the biggest breach between the constituents and the lawmaker, I feel compelled to tell them why I resigned. Hence, I have called this press conference to inform the citizens of District number 12, Mossoralo County, and the public why I resigned. Before providing reasons why I resigned, I'd like to firstly extend my profound apology to the citizens of the district for the role I played in bringing Honorable Yogboh to power. While I take some responsibility for the fair representation that the district is currently experiencing under Honorable Yogboh, I am not the heart surgeon or teller of heart to know that he will turn out to be who he is today. It is unfortunate and sad that with the high hopes and expectations the citizens saw in Honorable Yogboh as a long-awaited leader, redeemer, and transformer, they are sought for in successive elections. His actions and postures are a direct replica of Liberia's normal politician who metamorphoses after ascending to power. It can be recalled that in August 2022, I took the solemn, fervent, and bold decision to support Yogboh and left Liberia the next day for graduate studies in the Russian Federation. An opportunity that I applied for and sourced more than a year before our encounter. However, I returned to Liberia in 2023 as chief strategist for his Bay, a role that made me one of the leading faces of his campaign. The many citizens of the district, I took this important decision to support Yogboh because I saw him as an embodiment of development, personality of hope in the midst of despair and frustration, and the character of redemption and caring leadership, and the people carrying leadership that the people of the district have seen desired. Convinced and trusting that we will work together in changing the failed representation history of the district. I sacrificed a better pay and more secure job by resigning as an employee of the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, NASCO, to take up the COS role in his office. I had a belief that the passion, enormous concern, mammoth care, and immense act of humanity, generosity, and listening attitude that he showed before his election would be demonstrated on a grander scale as representative of the people. I was greatly drawn to his plan to provide empowerment and capacity building programs for the people, especially the struggling youthful population of the district. Unfortunately, Yogboh's service as representative of the people electoral district number 12, Mozambique County, at the 50th legislature, has made the positive perception and belief that I held about him to vanish into the air. The character Yogboh that I saw, believed in before the 2023 elections has totally changed. Through his attitudinal disposition and actions, he is now 360 degrees tested on the positive attributes. The humble, listening, and caring leadership he exhibited before his election. Over my service as COS in his office, I have consistently engaged him, offered advice, offered suggestions, made recommendations, designed strategies, and proposed programs geared toward assisting him succeed on delivering his legislative and developmental agendas for the district and Liberia at large. Notable is the 2024 performance report and 2029 roadmap I presented to him in the presence of Mr. Samuel Toe, senior advisor to him, Mr. John Y. Siri, the newly appointed chief of office staff and former chairman of the Friends of Yogboh, and Mr. Albert Boble, the special assistant to Yogboh. On some occasions, I have to join the other staff in the office to give him political advice regarding the need to give priority to fulfilling the commitments and promises to the people. Yet, Yogboh failed to listen and act on those advice and recommendations. All through my service in Yogboh's office, I saw an apathetic, indifferent, unresponsive, and laid-back approach for him toward constituent concerns, the running issues affecting the district, important individual and institutional requests, and minimal efforts toward fulfilling commitments made to the district. He has put up a stiff-necked and arrogant posture by failing to listen and relate to his office staffers who should be leading his workings and activities in the district. This disappointing and embarrassing change in his approach to issues affecting the development of the district and the livelihood of the people has summed up a poor performance waiting for him entering the 3rd year of his tenure. Today, there are a series of negative feedbacks and public perception that becloud staffers who are proximate on Yogboh. The staffers, especially me, who are becoming victims of this unscientific perception that we are all advancing and misleading him, given these issues, wherein In most cases, those impossibility to power are blamed for the failure of the leaders. I am not prepared to become a victim of such unscientific perception, especially when similar perceptions were held and paraded by a few persons in the district when my former boss, Honorable Professor Richmond Anderson, lost the 2017 presidential elections. I would like to provide a few of the specific reasons that informed my conscious and thoughtful decision to resign from Yogboh's office.
Speed, it does speed.
One, on Yogboh's unconsultative, unilateral, and ill-advised decision to join the Citizen Movement for Change, the CMC, in contravention of agreed decision by the staffers, members of the political team, the Friends of Yogboh, and supporters, that he remain an independent lawmaker. 2, is consistent abandonment of the district during legislative breaks, wherein there are no projects, program, and activity undertaken to benefit the constituents. 3, on Yogboh's failure to exert reasonable efforts toward the completion of unfinished projects in the district, especially the lack of construction works on the unfinished administrative building since the program marking the recommencement of construction works on the building was held about 5 months ago, where those who make commitment are started in numbers make good their promises, yet that project has not recommenced. 4, the lawmakers laissez-faire attitude towards the completion of his unfinished projects through all the district since his election, which has led the citizens of the district questioning the sincerity to genuinely improve their lives. The conclusion now through all the district is that those projects by Honorable Yogboh were intended to prepare him to the district seats. 5, the representative's failure to get account of the district share of the 2025 legislative project fund, US 50,000 from the US 5.9 million expended as legislative project money under the Ministry of Internal Affairs in the 2025 national budget.
Speed.
6, on Yogboh's deliberate and intentional refusal to provide operational funds for the capital building and district offices, though he receives US 30,000 United States dollars annually as per capita for office materials, internet, stationery, operations, and others. 7, his unconcerned attitude toward the effort scholarship scheme. There is serious backlash from parents who are constrained to pay their children fees after he reneged on making payments for both last school year and current school year. All the much more embarrassing is he has refused to liquidate the debts that he owed to several individuals, including Mr. Emmanuel Wardrobe, former project officer of the Yogboh Foundation, the Green Academy, and the Alpha Vocational Institute, owned by Mr. Lawrence McCarthy. 8, the lawmakers' failure to provide expected support to the District Leadership Council, the DLC, a body of community leaders and prominent citizens that will organize as an office to assist us in implementing the developmental agenda, which has led to the resignation of most of the officials. 9, there's deliberate and intentional refusal to empower relevant staff, especially district coordinators, to effectively engage constituents in the different communities so as to liaise constituents' issues with him in a timely manner, thereby leading to poor morale among staffers. 10, the representatives clearly failure to undertake any senatorial project after over 2 years of his tenure, except the Kazali Boulevard multi-purpose hall being constructed through the 2024 legislative project formed by the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment Bills. 11, on Yogboh's failure to maintain relationship with individual stakeholders and groups, as well as other members of the Friends of Yogboh, especially the community coordinators and the militant wing, whose only campaign for him under the rain and the sun during the election. 12, his failure to take definitive positions on national legislative instruments, like the production sharing contract, the PSC, between the government of Liberia and Oranto Petroleum. The production sharing contract, PSC, between the government of Liberia and Total Energy. The contract between the government of Liberia and Aviho Atlantic or SPX. The addition of 14 new representative seats. The third amendment to the Minimum Development Agreement or the MTA between the government of Liberia and Asela Mutual Liberia and others. 13. The representative's failure to advocate in the interest of Liberia, especially constituents of the district who are working with different companies within the Monrovia Industrial Park, the MRP, where bad labor practices are meted up against the voiceless citizens, as well as his failure to hold these companies accountable for their non-compliance with terms and conditions of their agreements, like the incentive agreement between Certificate Road and the government. 14. On Yogboh's ostensible failure to robustly exercise his oversight function in ensuring that relevant government functionaries provide the needed basic social services to the people of the district and that the district benefit from the national budget. 15. His failure to respond to calls and messages from constituents, as well as individual institutional constituent requests and programs, and make expected intervention on issues confronting the citizens. 16. Subjecting staff to constant threats or dismissal when they disagree with him on policy issues. 17. The lawmaker's failure to consult the staffers in decision-making processes relating to the office, projects, and other development programs in the district. 18. On Yogboh's lack of transparency and accountability in the usage of the county and social development funds for the district. 19. The lawmaker's arrogant, demeaning, and intimidating posture when constituents engage in issues of the district, and a series of poor political decisions. And 20. On Yogboh's failure to stand up differently amongst members of the House of Representatives that list the endemic corruption, weak oversight, systemic inefficiency, privatization of self-interest over public interest at the legislature. Fellow citizens of District Number 12 and Liberia, following deep assessment of Yogboh's character and performance, it has become ever more apparent that our perspective on the governance of the district are no longer in alignment. Instead of seeing my consistent engagement with him on the need to prioritize the district interest over self-interest in good faith, Representative Yogboh has rendered us an antagonism, hostility, and opposition, thereby making our thoughts, ideas, and ideologies on our service to the district irreconcilable or incompatible. On Yogboh's failure to readily relate to me as chief of officer in the office since September 2025. Simply because I kept him regularly informed and reminded of constituents issues, commitments, and promises made to individual constituents and institutions were enough to indicate that he no longer needed my service. Therefore, based on my principles of honesty, integrity, accountability, and humility, I derived a conscious and uninfluenced decision to resign from his office so as to repair my dwindling relationships with family members, friends, supporters, and the people of District Number 12 Muscle. I cannot compromise my principles and character against the interests of the people of District 12 just for the title of COS and salary. I am resigning with no alternative source of income, despite increment in the salary of COS at the House of Representatives from gross salary of $695 to US $945 as of January 2026. Something that I vigorously advocated for when I served as chairperson of the COS network of the House of Representatives. Furthermore, my fellow citizens of District 12 and all Liberians, the Liberian legislature is a den of selfish character based on prioritizing their personal interests or the citizens' interests. It is heartless and wicked for members of the legislature to take home 3,000 US 3,000. I repeat, it is heartless and wicked for members of the House of Representatives to take home US $3,450 US in gas slips, while millions of Liberians go to their hungry daily. It is a betrayal of the people's trust and representation for members of the legislature to focus on what they can personally pocket for concession agreements instead of what the Liberian people stands to benefit. Members of the House of Representatives are so wicked that the very staffers who campaign for them under the sun in the rain are treated as slaves. The day of reckoning awaits them in 2029. Consequently, fellow citizens of this country, now that I have severed all political ties with Representative Jerry K. Yogboh, I will begin consultation with different stakeholder groups in the district, across the district, regarding the direction of the district. Now that we all are aware, now that it is a consensus agreement that he has failed our expectations. It is time for us to mobilize and amalgamate the forces of our people for grassroots representation. I thank you all.
Thank you. That was a voice of the former chief of the staff, the officer, Jerry K. Yogboh.
I'm Riles Yimpan. I report for DNS Liberia. I listen to 20 counts. 20 counts being referenced as your source of resignation. Mr. Paye, people are watching the live saying you served as COS to former lawmaker Richmond Anderson, and you cited reasons of which you resigned from his office. And now you served in the office of Jerry Yogboh for over nearly 2 years. You got benefits, and you cited some of the reasons that you was a dictator, reported dictator, by the dictatorship. So one man say that you saying that you are running grassroots supports. What kind of grassroots supports are you running? Is it like you want to contest come 2020 now? What's the next course of actions?
So, like I stated, given that I see what all political I'm going to begin this consultation across the district, meeting with different stakeholder groups regarding the next direction of the district. And that has to do with, not necessarily that I want to be a lawmaker, but my interest is District 12 has been a district that has been placed in the hands of individuals who, when elected, turn their backs on the people for the 6 years. And then the people have to decide to elect another one. The case instance has to do with former representative Job being Samar. Today we have Yogboh, also dating from Annonce's day. But let us clarify also that they didn't serve as COS in Annonce's office. I was the executive secretary at the time. But that's one of the reasons why I unveiled the press conference. Because people are calling me now to have press conference, but it's not the just. But very intentionally because I worked with former President Annonce for 6 years. And though there were advances, there were recommendations made, daily listing, and we saw the ultimate end in 2017 when he lost. So we held live. So I believe this time around, I can be a COS, and then things are not going the right way, and I said supposedly, until the 6 year elapsed, and then people again come and say, oh, Paye, you are there, you are the COS, especially the COS. As the COS, you are the chief driver of the office of the lawmaker, especially your agenda, your working, your program. So I wouldn't have any argument, any defense to the people of Desert 12 after 6 years to tell them that, oh, Yogboh has failed you. Nobody will listen to me. And I will be defaced politically. I will have no argument. People who believe me in the will no longer listen to me when I tell them. So I took the conscious decision that in 2 years, having entered the 3rd year, which is fair and reasonable, I told Representative Yogboh in 2024, December 31st, 2024, like I mentioned in my statement, after the 1st year, if you watch the scenario, as soon as I resigned, when Yogboh saw my resignation letter, he accepted it right away. Because he needed, he wanted that. Apparently, we were putting the interest of the district ahead of the personal interest.
Yes, I'm David Domingo, right from the People Party. Mr. Paye, do you think it is not time to step aside from the district politics? Bringing 2 lawmakers to the district, which got elected, that you supported, that you claim failed the district, of which today you are also withdrawing from.
No, so listen, the people of the Zotua, in their mind, in 2017, we talk about 2 lawmakers that. So let's take, for example, let's first take the issue with former Representative Richmond Anderson. I will say here today that I strongly believe that former Representative Richmond Anderson, who was my first boss in the legislature, did perform to some extent because his workings in the district can be seen in the community. Even as we stand, they play with stand. After the war, they play with dilapidated. They were part of former Representative Richmond Anderson's working that reformed the people. Apparently, maybe they had not very much caretaking. That's why maybe we have seen it like this. But people used to carry and take photo after the place for reforming on a former Representative Richmond Anderson's tenure. But in the western report of the 12, they thought that he didn't do well. And they replaced him with Representative Summer. Now Representative Summer, he failed. They replaced him with Yogboh without a part of bringing Yogboh. So this time around, having gone 2 years, which is very enough, entering the 3rd year, it's enough to judge the performance of the lawmakers. I decided to quit. So that is fair enough. And that's the reason why I apologize for the essential of my speech that I take some responsibility of being part of those who brought Representative Yogboh to power. But I'm not a teller of hearts that he will attend all the way he has stayed out. And because I'm somebody who stands for principle, I have to bow out. How many young people in this country will do what I've done? In the midst of economic challenges, where job scarcity is an issue. You have a job where you earn $695 and you learn advocacy the job, that salary is increased to $945. The time is the effect. I do not have any authority source of regular income currently as we speak. But it is a conscious decision that I made to walk away. So I didn't want to change myself.
Now,
Thank you for your recognition. So the follow-up, you have brought facilitated to the people of the shop. Will you campaign for any representative in the council after you have brought 2 representatives to against you have not been able to the people of the shop?
If you listen to the last part of my press statement, I said I am going to commence grassroots consultation with stakeholder groups in the district to inform me the next direction of the district. So, going forward to 2029, the decision as to who I support or what the district choice should be as a relates to representative will be determined by the people. This time around, based on the consultation that will begin very soon across the district.
But in case you are involved
And the consultation will involve all of the stakeholder groupings, the market women, the teachers, the students, the motorcyclists, the kebabs, the young people, the elderly, the disabled, the disadvantaged, the women, the community leaders. Will consult all of them. Beginning tomorrow, I will start having conversations with all of those stakeholder groupings so that they can tell me what is the status of the district and what is the way forward and how can we work together to build one fold for a grassroots representation in 2029. And the theme of that argument is the one of us must. It is time for a son, a grassroots son of that district to represent the district. Yes. No more. We will sit there and support as young people support program for the diaspora, for the sea, for America, for Europe, for the diaspora, and come here and turn around the concept of direct cosmetic project, teach a few dollars to our people. We'll begin the awareness. We'll begin the education. We'll go to the markets. We'll go to the intellectual centers. We'll go to the schools. We'll go to all of the public sectors to inform our people that in 2029, we will not sit and lie, quote unquote strangers. That's what political locality just says there. Sit for influence. No important broker. In fact, as I speak to you, you may not know because you are not, maybe you are not in that district. But this one, the young people in the district are aware. As I'm having a press conference, one of the things that touched me very highly is the emergence of another important broker in the district. Some of you don't know, but we follow the daily politics here. There is an emergence of another important broker in District 12. They call him Mary Young. All the children factory is there now. He has organized what we call Mary Young Kitchen. What is he doing? He's cooking. They make him for America in Kenya. The first thing he did, he gave 1 million, microfinance loan to our people. He paid $450,000 of the 1 million. He went back to the US. He's not here now. But before he could go back, he could now go for the Marvin Young Goodwill Kitchen. He went to the guy in that country, he said the phone of it. So the people in America believe that the 12 is there for projects. The 12 is an object. The 12 is a commodity.
Zegwe. The one of orange. Yes, and Zegwe.
So Mario, I know people who follow you. He killed the raptor and he killed the hunter. Because former resident Job Yesama, they now represent the Yogboh. They are taught our people lesson. And who have not experience. That they put a camp on water. They come, they down around the process, they spend a few dollars. Cosmetic project, they pay one bridge, then a new ring, all around, all the bridge. They will work in a sales here. They must spend 100,000. They must spend 100,000 US dollars to get elected. In less than 6 months, they may get 100,000. But the whole sales here will give it to the men, so they make a change back. They make all the 100,000 pay, save money, get it back. But then, the rest of the 5 years, says more, I can just take my money, I get time for the people. What the hell? But if we let a soul of the soul that we can access, that we listen to, that we can get to, that we know, that have no record or no available issue of going to the US to live residential issue in the US. We will not have that. Take for example, Representative Yogboh, in a third and final legislative break for 2025, you know what Representative Yogboh did? No. He left the district on December 24 and went to the US. He was there and came to the country in February when the legislator had resumed on January 15. He came back after the legislator had a setting of almost 2 to 3 weeks. And during that break, he did not come to the people to tell them what happened during the setting. Did he come to you? Yes, you ever saw him? No. Where was he? Anywhere in America? Yeah. Where are Yogboh Paye? When Yogboh in America, he was CMC in the bar or in the CMC in the Mariposi. They will pass him around. Where you lawmaker, your boy, Yogboh, we see you. We just see the main photo.
So now moving forward.
No, listen to me. It's premature. No, it is concerning.
Moving forward now, do you have any anticipated grassroots that will positively represent? Yeah, Sapa TV Liberia. I'm saying rhetorically, right? Now, moving forward, now, do you have any anticipated grassroots that will able to represent the people of Liberia District number 12? Come 2029?
That's a similar question.
I'm saying, moving forward now, do you have any anticipated grassroots? Because you had intimated that you guys are going to look at people from the shore and people who have not traveled before, but people who have compassion and development. They are developmentally oriented and they want to see the district moving forward to X, Zenith, and so forth. Do you have any name that you're anticipating on, or you yourself anticipating to be a representative to as well?
Sapa TV.
Yeah.
Were you not following what I spoke here? That the group that we intend to form, the grassroots movement we intend to form, it's not for me. It's not a maybe representative. It's not, in fact, let me be clear.
Again, yeah, it does other people.
Let's say it's not intended to make any specific individual representative. The people will decide. That's my argument. When we form the movement and we move around and we amalgamate the force of the people at the appropriate time, when we get into what 2029, the people will decide who should be the face.
Thank you very so much. For those of the
all the questions are on.
Somebody on the